night shelter was rammed in by two youth who were driving a vehicle at a very high speed. They were high on alcohol. And it flowed through at least 5 of the people who finally succumbed to their injuries. About a half a dozen people are still admitted to the civil hospital here with very serious injuries. Both of these youth actually belong to influential families in Lucknow. One of them son of a local businessman and the other one son of a former Samajwadi Party MLA. Young people have been found to be driving a car under the influence of alcohol, obviously being unchecked by the police.
4 लोगों की मृत्यु हो गई है और करीब 4 लोग ऐसे हैं जो घायल हैं, ट्रॉमा में हैं। कुछ को माइनर इंजरीज हैं जो सिविल हॉस्पिटल में हैं, उसमें भी 2-3-4 लोग हैं और उनका ट्रीटमेंट कराया जा रहा है। इसमें दोनों लड़के पकड़ लिए गए हैं, जो गाड़ी है वो भी पकड़ ली गई है।
3 people die every 10 minutes in our country in a road accident. Several of those road accidents are caused by drunk driving. In this particular case, 2 spoilt VVIP brats got drunk, got behind the wheel of a car and mowed down 5 people. 5 people are dead today who would have been alive if these 2 young men knew some discipline or had seen some discipline. Devastating hit-and-run case reported in Lucknow. In this particular case, the police were swift. The 2 members have been taken into custody. I want to keep an eye on the fact of how long they stay in custody. But 4 people were killed and 8 others were injured in that incident. I want to bring in my guests right now. And the shocking part about this is that it begins Road Safety Week starting today. One of those accused is the son of a former legislator and SP Leader Ashok Rawat. Joining me on the show today, Abha Singh Lawyer and Activist, Vikram Singh, former DGP of UP, and Sujay Kantawala Senior Lawyer. Abha Singh will join us through the course of the conversation. Vikram Singh, happy Road Safety Week to all of us. This is how we are starting Road Safety Week. The state of UP has always been known for the fact that its VVIP spoilt brats think they are above the law. Is this another case that we're looking at today?
Faye, very disappointing indeed. Unfortunately, it is exactly the way you have just unfolded. The grisly contents, as you see on the pages, are indicative of the fact that the super brats, drunken super brats, what they unleashed was mayhem and a bloodbath. Totally wanton. But if you were to see and examine the causes, at least 15 years before the New Year's and 15 years after, you are supposed to be expected to ensure that there is no illegitimate selling of liquor, no illegitimate consumption of liquor. Whereas the ground reality is that in Lucknow, all the area, this accident site is very close to the Raj Bhavan and the residence of that of the police. I would have rather that the police ensured that wayside pubs had not come up. Clandestine sale and purchase of liquor wasn't there. And the police should have ensured that there is no legitimate consumption in speeding. This was an avoidable tragedy. And now that it has happened, I do hope that the police do register a case and the 3 youth for AIPC homicide not among do have been arrested, but the other 3 are large. They need to be arrested, and before the VIP syndrome catches up, the case should effectively investigated and prosecuted, and there should be no escape.
Vikram Singh, you know, this footage that we're looking at on our screen is of a night shelter. These people, unlike previous cases that have happened in Mumbai, these people were not sleeping on the footpath. They were inside a shelter. But what we must note about this shelter, these night shelters are put up for homeless laborers to protect them from the cold winds of the North Indian winter, which is why they were in that shelter. Now, Vikram Singh, on one hand, the accused are extremely well-to-do. They're VVIPs, they're super brats, like you call them. On the other side, the victims are homeless laborers. In your experience as DGP UP, what kind of political pressure is going to come down on this case? What is going to happen to the 2 accused? And who is going to fight for justice for these homeless laborers who've lost their lives?
I share your note of pessimism, but at the same time, I have to say that as luckily, the present SSP of Lucknow, Ms. Manzil Sen, and DIG are known to have this attitude, and even in the Ashiana rape case, Ashiana murder case, they come down heavily, although they, the accused, were very influential people. And so if the past record is any indication, I have no doubt that in this case, which will be an exception to their effectively investigated, accused, charge-sheeted, I'm sure this case is very different from other cases which went by different. I have shown me the man, and I will show you. It varies from person, and certainly each of the used, it is pretty lax.
In fact, Sujay Kantawala, I want to bring you in here, and unfortunately I have to share the information with you that of the 8 people who were injured and in the hospital, 1 has just passed away. So now the death toll of this accident has gone up to 5. 7 people still injured in the hospital, 5 people have passed away. Sujay, alarming parallels really to the Salman Khan hit and run that we know happened here in Mumbai. What are your expectations right now? What are your concerns as a lawyer and as a citizen with this case?
The Salman Khan case is now pending in the Supreme Court. Rightly so, the government has appealed to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has taken cognizance, admitted, and will hear. I'm sure that when the Salman Khan case comes up for hearing, there will be a lot of pearls of wisdom and a lot of pointers which the Supreme Court will lay down for all of us to appreciate. But let us look at this case and let us see, let me add to what Mr. Vikram Singh said. These 2 boys, influential families, they feel that they can do anything. When you drink and drive, you have to have the intent, that there is an intent that you, once you drink and then you go to the wheel, you are likely to end up maybe in an accident or something. That knowledge is always there, it's inert. One doesn't have to showcase it. So once you drink, there has to be zero tolerance. Society cannot accept a drunk driving at any cost. Secondly, these people are connected very well, but as Mr. Vikram Singh said, that now the cops have taken, and they have taken immediate action. So I feel that they should have engage an ace prosecutor, an ace prosecutor to see that immediately a charge sheet is filed, drafted and filed, and the trial commences, fast-tracked, and these 2 boys are convicted. This is a classic case where the government machinery, which is actually the state, because now the state comes in the picture, and the state is the prosecution. The state has to ensure that there is conviction, and the state has to ensure that the trial is fast-tracked, because the people will be watching. And this debate, again, I'm sure you'll follow it up further. These kind of debates bring these kind of cases out.
Right.
And this is the classic case where the state can prove that we are not going to allow this nonsense to go ahead.
You know, I want to bring in Abha Singh as well. Abha Singh joins us. Abha Singh, the shocking parallels really to the Salman Khan case. And Sujay just pointed out there's a Salman Khan case right now. The hit and run from Bandra and Mumbai is currently pending in the Supreme Court. But that case is 15 years old. It took place, the incident took place in 2002. 15 years those people have been waiting for justice. And here you have these 2 spoilt brats who mowed down 5 people who are dead right now. How much longer, how long do you think they're going to have to wait? Who's going to fight on behalf of the homeless who are sleeping in that shelter?
See, on behalf of the homeless, it would be the state government which would be fighting. That is the public prosecutors. And as in Salman Khan case, you remember the police botched up the case. The prosecutors and the police, in fact, after Salman was acquitted, he went scot-free. Bombay police took out a guideline saying that there were 16 points on which they botched up. They goofed up. Because of that, Salman got scot-free. I think here also, because here is an ex-MLA's son and a rich businessman, tycoon's son, they would get the best of the lawyers. And the way they would puncture holes in the police charge sheet, I'm sure they would go scot-free. Also, my biggest question is that when you are drunk and you are driving, why are you not saying clearly that it is murder? The charges which are there as per the IPC is 304, culpable homicide not amounting to murder. Along with that, you put another charge of 279 IPC, reckless driving. So what happens, the judge has so much discretion and the police also has so much discretion in filing the charge sheet that they make a case in such a pathetic manner that when it comes for trial, it is always that it was reckless driving, it was not murder. My
my point is, if a person drinks and then comes on the wheel, it should be only murder and nothing else. Why should it be culpable homicide also? Why should it be treated as unintentional murder? It is clear-cut murder, because once you are drunk and you are driving, it is presumed that you are going to kill people, and hence there should be no vagueness and discretion to the judiciary or the police, and this is where the law needs to be amended so that we can keep a check on this drunken driving and menace on the roads, which is happening all over India.
You know, for the benefit of our audience, let me explain this. Obviously, there's murders when you go out to actually take a life on purpose. Culpable homicide is when you didn't intend to take a life, but you wound up doing so without really meaning to. It happened through the course of events. Vikram Singh, you said, of course, that the police in Lucknow are very diligent at this point and they have a no-nonsense attitude. Respond to what Abha is saying. Why wasn't it just plain-out murder? Why aren't the police taking this as hard as they possibly can to set an example with these two kids for anyone who chooses to drink and get behind the wheel in the future?
Very correct. Initially, I did say that I shared Dr. Chandra, and I will share a note of criticism that Abha ji has to say. From what we have seen in Salman Khan's case, which was an unnecessary drama, intrigue, mischief, corruption, and mess up. And even if 10% of that is replicate Lucknow, you have a bigger mess happening now, as it happened in the case of Salman Khan's case. But here I have Manzil Saini, the assistant, and Praveen Kumar, the DIG. They are looking upright officers, and their attitude to the investigation. The best man was it from had forensic examination of matter of duty, had the medically examined, and the plea of the son of Ashok Rawat that it was actually a skit. They did not take it seriously, and obviously the police have not accepted the version given by Utkarsh. Therefore, I have no reason to disbelieve what Praveen Kumar and Manzil Saini are saying today. Of course, subject to the fact that they continue their tenure, they continue to supervise the investigation as diligently as they have done in earlier cases. Because in earlier high-profile murder and rape cases of Lucknow, these two officers have given an excellent account of themselves. And therefore, I believe that they would show that the wheels of justice, and they would be penalized and punished as the law would expect and society would expect.
Sujay?
No, I'm to add to what Abha and Vikram Singh ji also said, when you drink and you take to the wheel, the car itself becomes a weapon. You see, we should appreciate that, and we should see it from that angle, that the car itself becomes a weapon, and then you can do whatever colossal damage you want with that.
And we've seen it happen in so many cases. Entire families get wiped out.
Yes, I know. And I have full faith. That in this case, as Mr. Vikram Singh has expressed his positive approach, that the cops are definitely going to see to it that there is going to be a conviction. And I also see Abha's point that this is clear murder. And we have also seen that what influential politicians and businessmen ultimately do. Like, look at Rocky Yadav's case. For example, we had Rocky Yadav's case where the Supreme Court then cancelled the bail. We had Shahabuddin's case where Supreme Court cancelled, but every case can't go to the Supreme Court. The problem is that only some cases, they end up in the Supreme Court. Supreme Court is vigilant and Supreme Court overturns. But therefore,
how often does it go up?
That's right. And these are poor people. They are homeless people.
We must talk about the fact that the fine for drunk driving right now is 10,000 rupees. Now, for someone who is an ex-MLA's son, for a business tycoon's spoilt little son, what is 10,000 rupees? 10,000 rupees is nothing, Abha Singh. 10,000 rupees is nothing to a spoilt brat who's having fun with his friends. If the police, pull him over, he's going to do one of two things. He's going to offer to pay the policeman off, because that's what he can do with his money, or he can pay the fine. There's absolutely no deterrent here.
Definitely, you just pay a paltry sum of 500 rupees and get away. That is the reason that there is no check and deterrence. In fact, when you are saying about the efficiency of the UP police, in that Bulandshahr rape or national highway of the mother and daughter, Azam Khan, a sitting minister, comes and says it's a political conspiracy. When such a heinous offence as gang rape is passed off as political conspiracy, what makes you think that the police is going to act very efficiently and ensure that these people get imprisonment? I beg to differ. And when you say deterrence, definitely. In fact, you can see on the roads that you pay the traffic constable some money and they just let you go. And here the discretion is so much. In fact, now the law needs to be amended. I am hopeful that the parliamentarians see your show and realize that the law needs to be amended. In drunken driving, police should have no discretion. They should make it a clear case of murder if the person is drunk. And why give it a discretion of reckless driving? Reckless driving, the punishment is only 2 years. Even in culpable homicide, there are 2 punishments. One is for 2 years and one is for 10 years. So there is such a vast
if we take suggestion,
why wait for the parliament? Why wait for the parliament? Let us see if one case like this goes to the Supreme Court can lay down the law.
Sujay Kantawala, if according to Abha Singh, drunk driving is murder, and according to you, when you drink and get behind the wheel, the car is, a weapon, then someone just caught drinking and driving, is that attempted murder?
No. I am.
Shouldn't it be though? Shouldn't it be?
Let us look at it from this unfortunate incident. Let us take this unfortunate incident as a test case. That as a result of your recklessness and of this foolhardy act of drinking and driving, you caused this damage. Therefore, you have to relate that incident back. That you always had that inert intent. Your mind always realized that there was an intention and a clear and present danger that you are going to commit or likely to commit this kind of an act. So therefore, you have to view it from that holistic way.
There's something else we have to address here, and that's a social problem. And I'll go to this with Vikram Singh. Vikram Singh, so obviously these young brats, these boys got behind the wheel. They didn't think they were going to mow someone down. They thought that they've done this lots of times. They've had a couple of drinks, they've driven home, nothing has happened. That's going to be the same thing that will happen tonight as well. They would have had friends who would have said, so what, have another drink, it's okay. All of that would have happened. The truth is the deterrent is not strong enough. People are not afraid of getting caught if they're drunk behind the wheel. And it happens in all of our cities. And it's a risk to anyone. Tomorrow it could be your family. It could be someone who's sitting at home. Tomorrow your wife and child could be crossing the street minding their own business when someone comes down the road drunk and behind the wheel. Vikram Singh, there is a need to deter this behavior and to do it in a manner that people are absolutely terrified of getting caught.
So true, Faye, you have articulated so well. This business of tomfoolery and a cavalier attitude towards life needs to be toned down, and I wish there was parental care. I don't say what was true for my generation, the 3 ingredients of growing up was caning, cold bath and bad food. Certainly I don't recommend that, but I would certainly expect the parents, the teachers to have the moral strength to check the deviants and the dropouts, and especially those who are accustomed to going in for a drinking spree and then driving, or going for something that is a non-conformist conduct. Therefore, I would fault the parents, the first stepping stone. Second, the teachers. Third, the peer group who eggs on their friends and associates to booze. Boozing, I would say that reckless consumption of alcohol, wanton consumption of alcohol, and then driving and doing things that are immoral. And we should not stop it here. The very fact that there is lax parental and teacher control and that of the elders finds expression not only in irresponsible drinking, but also in irresponsible and casual conduct when it comes to behaving with women and with ladies too, as we have discussed on many occasions. The very fact that I see holding my parents and teachers terrified of checking. If you have the moral strength, if you have it in you, you should always check, because if you do not check, you are failing in your duty and you are failing your youngsters too. Therefore, the police, the family elders and the teachers, we had prefects, we have headmasters, and then we had everybody in the class monitors who would check everybody. In the police also, any person who smelt of alcohol at parade time was just thrown out in the first go. And if he smelt of alcohol the second time, he might even would have lost his job. But I don't think it seems to be happening on the ground. You have to be cruel to be kind. I'm sorry if I'm using harsh words, but you really have to.
Parents and families need to take responsibility. And I want to place a third list of responsibility here on friends who are out drinking with other friends. Take away their keys, put them in a taxi or take them home yourself. Do not let someone get behind the wheel after they've had even one drink. And for those of you who turn around and tell someone, "Ek le lo yaar, kuch nahi hoga," this is on you. These lives are on you. You are being irresponsible. You are encouraging irresponsible behavior. You should really think about that. And I want each of our panelists, before we wrap up this discussion, to give us one concrete suggestion that we can send over to the government on how to deter drinking and driving in whatever manner they think is best. But in the meantime, Srinath is on the phone line from Mumbai. Srinath, go ahead. What's your question?
Yeah, when I see the debate, I feel that it is just a farce because, we had this Janvi Gadkari case that happened around 8 months back, and then whatever it is, irrespective of whatever it is, he just got free. So these things happen in our country and nothing happens actually. So the common citizen has lost faith in the judiciary process. That's what I just wanted to comment.
Well, that's a very good point. But he has a point. He's saying, why should we have faith in the process?
He has a point, but I don't think that we should make such kind of stark statements that you have lost faith in the judiciary. Look, my friend, judiciary is the only today's bastion, the last bastion of hope in this country. And considering the fact, the amount of people we are just too many people. We hardly have any judges. Still, they are doing an exemplary job. So let's give them their credit. Let's give them their credit. Let's have faith in the judiciary. You see, it just doesn't work that way. There is a prosecution. There is a prosecution that has to be launched.
No, let me also ask Abha. Abha, you said that in the Salman Khan case, it was botched up by the police in Mumbai, and there were reasons. There was a list of botches that were put out. But in the Janvi Gadkari case, what happened then? Why was the accused why didn't the accused receive punishment? And then speak to our caller who's called in to say he's lost faith in the judiciary.
Ma'am, frankly, the accused is
First thing, in the Salman Khan case, I would also say that definitely the credibility of judiciary has definitely gone down because it let go Salman Khan. It let him scot-free, but did not even say that whether it was the driver who was driving the vehicle. If it was driver, then why was the driver not arrested? Today, the position is that the driver and Salman Khan both have been let off, and the slap is on the people sleeping on the pavement who lost their lives. Now, in Gadkar's case also, she was arrested. She was behind bars for 2 months, but then eventually she did come out. But this trial would take donkey years to complete. In Salman's case, it was 15 years, and I'm sure here police will take its own sweet time to file a charge sheet for the trial to start with another 5 years. By the time the witnesses disappear, in Salman Khan's case, there was summons issued, but they could not find the witnesses. The victims had disappeared from Mumbai. They were not ready to come forward and record the statement. The constable who was an eyewitness was found dead in mysterious circumstances. So definitely when your caller says that he doesn't have faith in judiciary, he has his grudges, and we all have some grudges. So definitely the police and prosecution need to tighten their belts. They need to have proper forensics. They need to come up with a speedy, good trial so that the conviction takes place. Only then the faith is going to be restored.
Well, Abha, I appreciate your honesty.
I need to clarify one thing. I need to clarify one thing. The judge comes at the end. Abha, you know the fact. You conducted so many trials. The judge comes to the end. First, it's the prosecution and the defense. The judge has to hear, sift the material, hear both the sides, and thereafter give his verdict. So if you don't produce that kind of proof before the judge, how is he going to deliver the verdict? How is he going to deliver the verdict without the proof?
No, why not? Why not? The High Court, the
judge cannot presume and assume facts.
For de novo, send it back to the Sessions Court. Ask Kamal Khan to come record his statement. No, the judiciary turned a blind eye. Who was driving the vehicle? Why it has not been decided?
Well, the matter is before the Supreme Court. Let us see what
then it was the driver. No, everybody was let off. No, Supreme Court only when the Maharashtra government decided to go against the High Court order. Had the Maharashtra government not opposed it, he would have gone scot-free.
I feel we should not make sweeping statements against the judiciary. Judiciary is the last bastion of hope in this country.
Because of
everyone has failed us except the judiciary.
Keep our mouth shut. Well, it is high time that no, not at all. Judiciary also has to answer.
We cannot make sweeping statements like that.
Well,
Abhaji, may I?
Well, Vikram Singh, unfortunately, we've run out of time, but Vikram Singh, very quickly.
We all are scared of contempt of court, that is all.
Vikram Singh, very quickly, go ahead. Very quickly, I have about a minute.
I would say that first of all, the police should come down heavily on those who sell liquor clandestinely and illegitimately every crossing. The scene of this accident has at least 100 bars, illegitimate bars, serving liquor and in a clandestine manner. They should come. And vehicles moving like a moving bar, they should also be checked and prosecuted.
All right, that's a very good point. And for Srinath, who called in saying he's lost faith in the judiciary, Abha Singh agrees with you. Sujay does not. This is an interesting.
I do not too.
Okay, Vikram Singh doesn't agree with you either. But this is a case where we are going to track very closely from beginning to end. We will give you updates on this channel on what is happening, and we will bring to you every movement in the case, and you can decide for yourself whether you want to have faith or not. And we'll bring you all of those details. But in the meantime, do not drink and drive. Do not allow anybody around you to drink and drive. If you see someone getting behind the wheel and it's not a person you know, call the police immediately. Report the car number. Stop that person. Let them spend a night in jail. Stop that person before they take a life. Drinking and driving is murder. And as a society, we need to ostracize the people who do so. Thanks for watching.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Magicbricks Now. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at Magicbricks Now. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/Magicbricks Now.